Okay.
impact. Very good. And that's how you wrote your book,
That's correct.
and
Yep.
all your manuscripts and
Yep.
everything.
Yep. And then what I do is then I type them in a regular typewriter, and then it's scanned into a computer,
Okay.
and then somebody can actually make all the corrections that are necessary in fixing my errors, which are often numerous.
You have a lot of drawers in here behind you, and
Those are in all my research collection. Mollusks. All these things.
how do you know the exact location they are?
Pardon?
How do you know the exact location?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So this is really a museum-grade research collection. That most of it I've collected myself. Some of it not, but most of it is. And the big cabinets have fossils. These are mostly recent things. So you see they're in these boxes, nicely curated, labeled in Braille. And recently I've also copied all my Braille labels so that eventually when it goes to a museum, they will have ready access to what's here. And that is my research collection from which I gain much of my inspiration. It's not the only thing I use, but it is the beginning of most of what I've done. And, you know, I love handling beautiful objects, most of which these are. And that's just great aesthetic pleasure, you know, which aesthetics is so important to me in what I do. And so, from childhood I've loved shells, from childhood I've loved natural history, and that's been my life.
You have also lots of files behind you. So are those the
Those
manuscripts?
are all things I've read.
Yeah.
Also behind you there, there's a whole wall of all the things I've read. So when I read papers, I take Braille notes, and they accumulate, and so I've read probably close to 30,000 books and papers over the years, which is one reason why my papers have large, heavy citations, you know, lots of bibliographic stuff in many languages, by the way, including Portuguese. And I love reading. I read every day scientific papers, which is one reason I can write about a whole different variety, a whole large variety of subjects. Everything from human uniqueness to extinction to biomineralization, you know, to molluscan taxonomy and so forth.
You read a lot, but you could read more if they were available in Braille, right?
No, you know, people read to me, so that's, I mean, Braille would help marginally, but it wouldn't be enough. Actually, it's much more convenient to have somebody read me papers, because then I can ask them, you know, skip this, or what's that reference, or, you know, I need an abstract, I need a discussion, but I don't need the whole thing, you know, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, like everyone else.
Like everyone else,
Yeah,
exactly,
yes.
Exactly right.
Sometimes we need to read the whole paper, but
Yep.
sometimes just a little bit here and
Yeah,
there
that's right.
would
That's
give the
exactly
message.
right. And so it's become, you know, a daily routine, which I really enjoy.
What else do you enjoy when you have free time?
Classical music. My wife and I are big fans of Baroque music. We actually sponsor the Sunday Baroque on KXBR, Cap Radio, and we listen to a lot of classical music in general. And just, we enjoy reading the New York Times together. My wife reads that. And, yeah, that fills up the day, really.
What about traveling? Not during the COVID time, but before that.
Oh, we did an enormous amount of traveling. We've been all over the world, all connected with professional stuff one way or another, but inevitably you get to see beautiful, wonderful places. And since I have family in Holland, and also professional connections in Holland, we go fairly frequently. I still read, write, and speak Dutch fluently. I've actually written articles in Dutch and done Dutch interviews and so on. So we've done lots and lots of work in the tropics, Panama, Guam, all over South America, Africa, the Pacific Islands, and so on. And even in the colder areas, I love the tropics myself, but I've even been to the Aleutian Islands, for example, southern New Zealand, southern Chile. So all over the place, lots of natural history experience.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for making the time today.
Oh, absolutely.
It was such a
Glad
great
to-
pleasure to
glad
meet
to do
you
it.
finally.
Yeah, and thank you for doing this all together. I mean, I think it's a great project.